Gun control for thee, but not for me. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a federal judge dropping a gun charge against Hunter Biden. Now, this is really hilarious to me because a lot of Democrats wanted to have this gun charge dropped. A lot of Democrats don't want Hunter Biden to be charged at all with any kind of crime. Although if this were you or I, and we did what Hunter Biden did, we'd be up under the penitentiary making big rocks into little rocks, 100%. But when your last name is Biden, you could do whatever you want. You could smoke crack, get high, buy a gun, lie on your background check, and not face any kind of real penalty. Now, before we go any further into it, we got to read an article. There's no actual news clip for this yet, so we're going to read and do some digging. This is on Associated Press, AP. You see the headline here. Hunter Biden judge agrees to drop old, quote unquote. And AP, they used to be kind of neutral, but they're getting a little bit, more editorialized and more lefty. But anyway, Hunter Biden judge agrees to drop old gun count after indictment replaces scuttled plea deal. So here's the situation. The gun charge was part of the plea deal that fell apart. So they're going to drop that piece of the plea deal that fell, and they're going to create a new deal. Let's get into it to see what's going on so we can just be on the same page with each other, shall we? Now, a gun count that had been part of a collapsed plea deal in the Hunter Biden case was dismissed Wednesday as a judge signed off on a prosecution request. The order from U.S. District Judge Marilyn Noriega, who's the same person who refused to sign off on the plea deal that fell apart, remember? She formally removes a gun possession charge that has now been replaced by a 3-count indictment. So not a 3-count plea deal, but an indictment. Okay, we're going to charge you for X, Y, and Z. Now remember, he was facing gun charges and tax charges. Now, I think it was a total of 2 or 3 gun charges because lying on the background check, that's a big one. That's a Brady Act violation. That could be 10 years in the penitentiary just for that alone. And none other than Hunter Biden's father, Joe Biden, was a champion, the spearhead behind that bill in 1993, followed by the 1994 crime bill. All right. So the things that Hunter is being charged with or was being charged with came as a result of his father making them be law in the early 90s. But let's keep on going. The president's son is charged with violating measures against drug users having guns when he bought and kept a revolver for about 11 days in 2018, a period where he is acknowledged struggling with addiction. Well, to be clear, he was a crackhead. You smoke crack. And if you are a crackhead, you cannot purchase a weapon, not a gun. Again, Brady Act, that's 100% illegal for you to lie on the background check. And it's also illegal for you to be a crack smoker while owning a gun. So let's just say that when he purchased the weapon, he was not a crackhead. And then he began to smoke crack later while handling the weapon or possessing the weapon. Both of those things would be illegal. Lying on the background check, that'd be one thing. Possessing the weapon while a crackhead is another thing. And then I think he disposed of the weapon behind a dumpster or something in Wilmington, Delaware, also illegal. All those things right there should have been in the original plea deal. Now, the 3-count indictment, I've not seen what that is yet. Maybe they're going to reveal it in this article. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. He pleaded not guilty earlier this month as the case moved toward a potential trial with the 2024 election looming. His lawyers have said he did not break the law, and they plan to rush for dismissal of the indictment. Hunter Biden, 53 years old, was originally expected to plead guilty to misdemeanor tax counts in an agreement with prosecutors and avoid prosecution on a single gun possession charge related to the 2018 purchase if he stayed clean and out of trouble. But the deal collapsed in July after Noriega raised questions about it, and the current gun indictment was filed weeks later. No new tax counts have yet been filed by special counsel David Weiss. All right. So now One thing they didn't say, this is AP. Like I said, they used to be a neutral platform, but they've become a lot more liberal and basically kowtow to the Democratic establishment in Washington, D.C. But the reason why Hunter's lawyers said that he didn't break the law is because the law or the ordinance or whatever it is that says you cannot possess a weapon while high on drugs, they said that that'd be a Second Amendment violation. And as a result, they dropped it. Because if they went ahead and prosecuted, which, see, that'd be a problem right there. They would have had to find him not guilty on that. And then that'd be a one-up for the Second Amendment purists. So they didn't want that to happen. But this is funny because, again, gun control is okay. Violating the Second Amendment is okay if you are not Hunter Biden, if you are a regular normie, if you're a conservative, regular law-abiding citizen. That's totally fine. You get caught up in the opioid crisis, you get prescribed some kind of opiate derivative by your doctor, and then you get hooked on it, and you are high one day, and then they go into your house, and then they open your safe because they called a safe company. I won't name no names, but you know what I'm talking about. They called a safe company. Hey, open this safe for us. This guy's high on drugs. If he owns a weapon, then he's gonna go to the penitentiary because you can't own a weapon while you're high on drugs. You can't be a drug addict and own a weapon. Then they open the safe. They find the gun. Oh, here go this gun. You owned it. You bought it legally. You passed a background check, but you're going to jail now. What Hunter Biden just showed is that whole process is a Second Amendment violation. Or you could argue that fact because that's what they argued, and they were able to get the gun charge dropped. Now, again, they did not say in this article from AP what the actual 3-count indictment is. There could still be a gun charge in there because, one, it's a gun count, and I think there was at least 2 or 3 gun counts. So the new indictment could include 1 or more gun counts, but one of them got dropped. And there could also be some tax violations in there as well. I think there's at least 1 gun charge. Let me come back so you can see me clearly. Because the tax charges were just for not filing in 2 years. I'm not quite sure what years those were. Don't get me in the line. It might have been 2014, 2015. But there was charges for that. And these misdemeanors. And then I think what they're going to get them on is lying on the background check. Because regardless of what, lying on the background check, it doesn't matter what you lie about. If you lie intentionally, that right there is a big one. So that is probably still going to be part of the indictment. But the other gun charges, having the weapon while high on drugs or being a drug addict, handling the weapon, those might have got dropped because they were successfully able to argue, hey, you're violating my client's Second Amendment rights. But you're not violating Second Amendment rights when you say that lying to the federales, which should be perjury, I suppose, right? Lying on the background check, wouldn't that be in the same ballpark as perjury? You can't say that's a violation of Second Amendment rights because it's not even about Second Amendment. It's about you lied. You told the federal government a lie. Now you're going to be held accountable for your lie. And then also the tax charges in there. But as I close, I want to say this. As I said, if this were you or I'm not quite sure that our lawyers would be able to get that defense off and say, oh, you're violating my client's Second Amendment rights. I don't think that would happen for us, although it should, because if it's good for Hunter Biden, it should be good for us as well. It can't be rules for thee and not for me. If it's going to be a law, let's all follow the law. And if you're going to be giving special treatment to one person, give that same treatment to all. Let's be fair. Let's have a 1-tier justice system rather than the 2 or 3 or 4-tier justice system. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on the gun charge being dropped from the Hunter Biden case? Good thing, bad thing, good for Second Amendment, bad for justice, whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I think the reason why this happened is because of who he is. if this was a regular person, regular normie, getting charged with this, he will already be in the penitentiary. It wouldn't be this whole long, drawn out process, trying to do sweetheart deals, having judges work in your favor, special counsel is your dad's friend from Delaware. That kind of stuff would not go on with you or I. Not at all. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.